You are watching Psychic Witch Talk, hosted by Christine Rossi and Diana Rachel, shot at the Mystic Dream in Walnut Creek, California.
Back again.
Yes. Welcome back to Psychic Witch Talk, and we are talking today about Spellcasting 101. If you saw our previous segment, then we talked about what a spell is. Now, for this one, we want to talk about what the basic components of casting a spell are.
Okay. So, well, we had a little discussion before coming back, and we all agreed intention. Setting your intention was important. And?
Yeah.
Setting your intention and also like putting your heart behind it. I typically find that if you really feel the emotion of what you're trying to manifest, like if you casting for love, being in a loving heart. If you're casting for wealth, then you're feeling really abundant and decadent, you know.
Yeah, being very clear when setting the intention, being clear about what you want. If you're not really sure what you want, you kind of know you want money, but you're not sure how you want it to come in, or you're just not even sure you feel like you're in a place to feel those decadent feelings. Sometimes you may have to stop and take a bath or something to get that mindset, because a lot about magic has to do with using your imagination to manifest something. It's turning your brain into a 3D printer.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And so, and with what Leo was saying about the heart is, we were talking a little bit about shop and talking techniques, because that's what witches do together. Mm-hmm. And I was talking about how I'd recently discovered that when I set my candle or I set my herb spell, I'll set all the material up and, you know, put the intention, and I like to chant and use words. I'm a wordsmith. But when I'm done stopping and conjuring up how I want to feel when everything is done, makes a really big difference in the results that I get from the spell, because ultimately it's not what you get, it's how you feel about it when you're done that does seem to make the biggest difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like putting, I do a lot of candle magic. And so I focus on the outcome at the beginning, because I always do everything backwards. So I focus on what is it that I really want to be feeling, and then I try to infuse it into the candle energetically, even though I've anointed it or whatever, but I bring all that energy in and all that feeling and try to put all that feeling into a small candle. And then I light it and just let it be, you know, pretty much.
So how important is spell timing, since a lot of people come here with questions about astrology?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's as important as you think it is, basically. There are times when it'll just be a lot easier and better if you're timing it, especially if it's something that you really, really, really want more than anything. Then you might want to go the extra mile and time it just right. If you happen to be a Reiki master, you can, or a Reiki level 2 at least, you can use Honshaze Shonen as sort of a cheat code to pull the time and energy from a different time and space.
I don't have Reiki, but I do that.
Yeah,
I've actually set up Wiccan circles where you can actually invoke the time that you want. And I drive an electric car, so I've set things up so it is always Mercury direct in my car.
that's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, for an electric car, you better want it to be working for you.
That's pretty important to me. I have found that when things are not ideal, or when it seems like things might work against me, invoking the specific time and space, especially since the Wiccan concept is a time without time and a space without space, which means you could just call anything in you want. I mean, if, you know, do the Dalek thing and just rearrange the planets. It's all good.
I work with whatever is there. So, I mean, a lot of people come in and they say, oh, but I really need money. I've got to wait until the new moon, you know, and I go, well, if you need money now, do a money spell right now. You know, don't wait for the timing on it. You can just, it's how you word it that really is the main thing. So if you're drawing money in towards you, then you can say that your lack is moving away as the moon is diminishing. So you can work with the timing.
Yeah, I would say the one area that I encourage people to work with moon timing is in love magic. because a lot of it has to do with less with being attractive to others or drawing others as it does with being in the right headspace yourself. And sometimes just taking the time to wait and prepare actually does help you get into a better headspace, because it gives you more time to work through the random insecure stuff that's going to come out when you're doing the spell.
Well, you're going to want to clear and uncross first before you do that anyway,
Right.
so you don't bring any of the old stuff into the new stuff.
Yeah, since
No mixing.
yeah, and if you're doing love magic, do it to change your patterns first, always.
Yeah,
It just works better.
So we have the timing. Anything else?
So a couple other things I wanted to add to this one is we're talking about, the other one was finding a space to do spellcasting, what's the best place to do it, and then any favorite toys and entities that we ask for help, and any follow-up to spellcasting. So in Conjure and Hoodoo for follow-up, there's burying the wax, or doing something prayers over 9 days. In Wicca, that's not as emphasized. It's usually one done and
You're finished.
Yeah, you're done, and go eat something and watch TV. And
Once you're done, you're done.
yeah.
What do you do for follow-up?
Depends. Most of the time I just sort of like let it go, but sometimes I will have blessed an object or an image in the course of it, and so I'll just sort of like give attention to that when I'm working with it later.
Depending on what magic I'm doing, I would say a lot of times I do hoodoo magic, and there's always a gift or an offering that goes back to whomever you're working with. And so I use Saint Expedite a lot, and you can use him for love and money and anything else that you want. Now, yesterday kind of thing.
Just make sure to thank Saint Expedite afterward.
That's right. Well, and he likes pound cake and he likes red flowers.
Yes.
With him, it's a good idea just to pay in advance.
Yeah, I like to set the whole thing up, and then after the candle has burned out, I like to buy like red carnations or something, or geraniums from the garden are even better, and put them in where the candle had burned and fill it up with water, and then offer the candles that way.
Yeah, and this is probably a topic for another show, but with entity work, I've always found it's good to just start with an offering. So even if you forget at the end, at least you know that you
got it covered.
expressed something. Yes, because
Sara Lee pound cake, really important.
yes. Yes, and I'm a baker, so I've gotten away with a lot in my life.
Yeah, so it's important that when you are working with the gods and goddesses, that you find out what it is that they like for offerings.
Okay, and is it always necessary to invoke a deity or entity
No.
for spells?
No, not at all. You can wing it literally on your own,
Yeah.
and just draw in your own power, and put your intention out with a prayer, and off you go. It can be as simple as that.
Okay, so that's the second part of Spellcasting 101.
Go online to book an appointment with Christine, Diana, or other members of the Mystic Dream Psychic Guild at themysticdream.com.